male lead kept trying to get the main character to do the sworn brother thing with him, and finally did convince the main character, so now they're sworn brothers. They're both husband and wife and sworn brothers. So because of his health, he had to have a figurehead for his wedding, and this figurehead was a little rooster. And when he finds out which rooster it was, he cooks it for dinner. This man does not realize how jealous he was, but he is very jealous because he literally cooked his figurehead for dinner because, you know what, he didn't want that alive anymore. He didn't want the thing that took his place. This man is drinking Wegener like no one's business. Just like the sister-in-law was hoping for, the follow student does exactly what she wanted. The follow student is the classmate of the main character. Every time he goes and checks in on his patient, the brother-in-law, he goes and visits the main character and he brings gifts. And the male lead is there every single meeting, which, displeases the follow student because he's trying to get the main character to run away with him and he wants to confess his feelings to the main character, so he passes a note to the main character. And the male lead and the main character uses this for their own advantage. The main character, he meets up with the follow student and he makes sure to destroy the dude's fantasy of him because the dude's not in love with him, he's in love with the fantasy of him. Which, the main character was not happy to know this dude actually had feelings for him. He was convinced this dude just saw him as a follow student and that the male lead was right because the male lead knew about the dude's feelings and so did the sister-in-law. So the main character is displeased by this, so he destroys the dude's fantasy because, again, this dude's not even in love with him. He's in love with a fantasy version of him. And he breaks the dude's heart and he sends the dude away. But he also, before he sends the dude away, he literally rips into this dude because the dude practically ridicules and mocks the male lead, and the main character has to put this dude in his place, and he backs his man up. The male lead and his maid, they're making a scene, they're making themselves look like the main character and the follow student. So when the brother-in-law and the servant of the brother-in-law are watching from the sidelines, they think they caught the main character and the follow student instead of the male lead and his servant. And the servant of the brother-in-law makes a whole big huge surprise reaction, which, unknown to them, the father-in-law and the concubine-in-law had walked in onto the scene, and they wanted to know why the servant of the brother-in-law is reacting that way. And the male lead and the maid walks into the scene too. And when the brother-in-law tries accusing the main character of basically having an affair, the male lead's like, yeah, no, the person the follow student had been visiting this entire time was me, and my maid can confirm it, and she backs him up. This is also when they reveal that the brother-in-law's illness was caused from his actions and behaviors, fooling around with women and drinking, which he'd already been punished for before, which, infuriates their father, who is there, and he drags the brother-in-law off. So the main character and the male lead, they target the brother-in-law instead of the sister-in-law, even though it was her plan, because the main character is also furious at the things the brother-in-law has said about him and the male lead, and he wants to punish the brother-in-law for these things. So he comes up with a plan that's basically the same plan from Grandmaster Demonic Convention the Snake came up to get rid of his father, which is basically drug him with alcohol, drug him with a scent that allures him to his female partners, and basically have him die in the bedroom. Except it doesn't really work. He doesn't end up dying, and the main character even puts on an act of saving his life because the main character realizes making him having the inability to sleep with people and have children is a more severe punishment than killing this man. I am not kidding. He changes his plan of killing this dude to basically make the dude inability to sleep with people and have children. If you're worried the male lead doesn't like that in a partner, oh, don't worry. The male lead loves it. He repeatedly tells the main character that he likes the main character's dark side, that he likes the main character having dark and horrible intentions, that when the main character does evil, he thirsts for it, that he wants to be on every single one of the main character's plans so he can watch the main character do these things, because he thirsts for it. Like, it makes him hungry when the main character does evil. And I'm like, honey, calm yourself, you dog, like, ooh. So the accountant they brought from the grandfather's house, he found discrepancies in the accounts, and he needs to go look into it. And the main character tells him not to look into it, but the male lead tells him to it, so he goes and does it. And when he comes back, the person he informs is the main character. He does not inform the male lead because the main character told him not to. And he tells the main character that the stepmother-in-law is basically doing an illegal salt trade, an illegal salt business, which is a big no-no. you can like work with salt, but you can't do it illegally. It was confusing. I don't understand it. Like you can work with salt, but you have to also be a legal salt business and not a illegal salt business. I was confused. So if any of you understand what that meant, can you really explain it to me? Because we all know there's not a big brain up here. This brain is small. It is whittle. It is tiny. It doesn't exist. Like, my level of intelligence is the same level of intelligence of Patrick from SpongeBob. Like, me and him, we share a brain cell. But I guess this salt business is so bad that you can get executed for it, and your entire family can be executed for it. The main character is pretty sure that the father in law is not involved, but the stepmother in law is. And that if she's caught, obviously the male lead is going to be in trouble, the brother in law is going to be in trouble, the sister in law, the father in law, they're all going to be in humongous trouble for the actions of the stepmother in law. So he needs to figure out how to deal with this. But at the same time, I think he's going to use it to his advantage to get rid of the stepmother in law. And I guess the actions of the father in law later down the story also leads him to wanting to get rid of the father in law. So the main character, one thing that irks me about him is not just how he acts towards those who have higher positions of him and his like disrespect to protocol and stuff. It's also the fact that this dude wants to kill the Empress because she made him marry a man, and that he was humiliated over it, and that he was kept from taking the imperial medical exams. Exams that he's still allowed to take after his husband dies. Like, everyone knows this man is still gonna die, and that he's still gonna be allowed to take the exams. Yes, he's gonna have to wait 3 years to take the exams, but he's still gonna be able to take them, which is unable to women. Like, when women lose their husbands, they're stuck in the homes of their in-laws and are treated horribly. He still has the freedom to leave his in-laws home, go back to his home, and then take the imperial exams. But he's acting like she has done him the worst deed in the whole world, that he wants to literally kill this woman over making him marry a man. Like, dude, no. Like, I can't have any respect for you over this. I guess I don't understand his situation, but honestly, I don't see how bad it is. Like, he is basically blaspheming thanks to the husband he's been arranged to marry. To the main character's despisement and hatred, he has to go visit the Empress because, again, she arranged his marriage and that she is the maternal aunt of his husband, and he hasn't done this. And he's supposed to go with his stepmother in law. So, him, her, and his sister in law, they go visit her. The Melly did not want him going, not because of the Empress, but because of the Crown Prince, who is not the Empress's child. He is the child of a consort. And this dude is greasy. This dude is nasty. And he does not want the main character anywhere near this dude. But he doesn't outright explain to the main character why. So the main character goes because Crown Prince is not supposed to be there. But he turns out to be there. And he is greasy towards the main character. Like, he is full on layering to the main character. So the main character is like, yeah, I don't want to get rid of the Empress right now. I want to get rid of this dude.